You watch them light up for someone who gives them absolutely nothing. While you gave them everything you had, you showed up when nobody asked. You remembered the small things they forgot they even told you. When everyone else disappeared, you stayed. You did everything right, and somehow you still became the option while someone else became the priority. If that truth just made your chest tight, stay right here, because the reason this happened is not what you think. Most people will tell you it's because you were too nice, that you should have played hard to get, that you gave too much. No. What happened is something far stranger, something their brain did without them even knowing. And once you understand it, you will never see your own kindness the same way again. When you treat someone well consistently every single day without conditions, something happens inside their mind that nobody talks about. Your effort stops registering, not because they don't care, not because they're a bad person, but because the human brain doesn't notice what's always there. It only notices what changes. Think about this. When you walk into a room with a strong smell, you notice it immediately. But if you stay in that room for 10 minutes, you stop smelling it. It didn't disappear. Your brain just stopped paying attention because it wasn't new anymore. That is exactly what happened to your love. You became the room they live in, and they stopped noticing the air you were giving them to breathe. Think about the last time you did something for them. Maybe you dropped everything because they had a bad day. Maybe you stayed up until your eyes burned because they weren't done talking, and you didn't want to be the one who hung up first. Did they thank you? Maybe. But did they actually feel the weight of what you just did? No. Because by that point, your presence wasn't a gift anymore. It was furniture. Nobody thanks a chair for being in the room. Nobody notices it until the day it's gone and they have nowhere to sit. Now here's where it gets painful. That other person, the one who barely tries, the one who vanishes for weeks and then sends one lazy message like nothing happened. Their brain lights up for that. Because it's unexpected, because it breaks the pattern. One small effort from someone inconsistent hits harder than 100 efforts from you, not because they're better, but because their brain had already stopped counting yours. Your consistency made you invisible. Their inconsistency made them unforgettable. But that's not even the worst part. When you give someone your full attention, and they give you their leftover time, you're not just being kind, you're quietly teaching them something. You're teaching them that your presence is guaranteed, that they never have to try to keep you, that no matter what they do or don't do, you'll still be there. And once someone's brain believes that, it stops investing, not out of cruelty, not on purpose, but because that's what every human brain does. When something feels secured, we look away. We put our energy toward whatever still feels uncertain. You became so safe that their mind filed you under solved, and nobody stays emotionally pulled towards something they believe is already solved. Now, this is the part that cuts the deepest. It's not the fact that they don't feel the same. That hurts, but that's not the real wound. The real wound is this. Somewhere inside you, you believed a formula. You believed if I give enough, if I stay long enough, if I show up without fail again and again, one day they'll feel it. One day they'll match it. One day they'll choose me. You treated love like math. Keep adding, and eventually the answer appears. But emotions don't work like that. The thing that makes someone feel deeply for you isn't how much you give. It's the space you leave for them to wonder what losing you would feel like. And you never left that space. You filled every gap, every silence, every pause. You made it impossible for them to miss you because you never gave them the chance. So here's the only thing I want you to carry from this. The next time you feel that urge to prove yourself again, to show up when nobody's asking, to over-explain how much you care, pause. Not because they don't deserve it, because you do. Your energy is not unlimited. Your presence is not free. And the right person will never need you to prove it on repeat. Real love isn't about who gives the most. It's about who notices without being reminded. And if someone has to lose you to finally understand what you were, that's not your failure. That's their lesson. If a specific person just appeared in your head right now, I know. Drop their first initial in the comments. Just the letter, nothing else.
And if this felt like someone finally explained something you've been carrying alone for months, subscribe. I make more of these. And next time, it goes even deeper. I'll see you in the next one.